Chapter 2 of Butterflies and Gemstones. Fluttershy's Cottage, 1:10 p.m. As Fluttershy stared out of her cottage window, she was formulating an action plan, a plan that would ensure her friend's chances of winning the fabled prize. She could care less for the prize. She already had the one thing a pony would always need. She had the best friends in the world, and nothing could take them away. For a reason unknown to her friends, the butter-yellow Pegasus called Fluttershy had decided to compete in the upcoming foam sword fight. There were a few reasons for the shy mare to compete, one of them being that ponies should not underestimate her. All of her friends thought that Fluttershy would never cause harm to anything with a pulse, being the element of kindness and whatnot. What her friends did not know that she had a PhD that Twilight could never hope of achieving. Fluttershy had a PhD in being adorable. That, and another PhD in magical engineering. It was commonly thought that only unicorns could cast magic with their horns. What was more uncommonly known was that Pegasus wings could act as basic magical batteries. How she found this out and how she achieved her degree is a story for another time. With both degrees, Fluttershy had secretly prepared for the upcoming battle. Instead of harvesting foam like her competitors, she had begun research on how to synthesize the foamy structures from raw materials. From dirt to rocks, metal of all kinds, she had found a way to synthesize the foam using a mesh of technology, science, a carrot, raw energy, and friendship. Fluttershy had made the one thing that could provide her friends with anything they may need on the go. Using a combination of engineering and a mirror, she ever so slowly created the thing that would assist her friends in winning the prize. It was a marvel of scientific and magical power, capable of running solely off friendship. She quickly thought over the best plan of action before retreating into the one place no one would ever look. Fluttershy quietly retreated into the shed outside her home, hidden by the comfy abode called her cottage. Inside the shed, her base of operations sat. With a quick unlocking of the various locks hiding the innards of the shed, Fluttershy stared into the one thing she had created. The shed itself just stored basic lab equipment ranging from a simple microscope to advanced machinery that lined the walls. This was the one place no one, except Angel, knew about. More importantly, the one place not a single pony would ever look. With a flick of a hoof, she hit a small lever. The machinery inside the shed began to rumble to life. Slowly getting louder and louder, gears and cogs came to life, eager to fulfill their purpose. In the midst of it all, a lone contraption lay. Nothing coursed through its machinery as it lay motionless and oblivious to the world around it. It was also the project Fluttershy had been working on. With it veering on the edge of completion, the chances of one of her friends winning would double. Barring an unknown circumstance, it would also be nearly indestructible. The contraption in question was made of 3 different types of metallic alloy, making it able to shrug off most foamy attacks. The innards of the machine were unique as well, being comprised of cables and whatnot. The one thing that made it special was the onboard wireless controller. It allowed Fluttershy to control the machinery and received audio and video input to another piece of machinery, a virtual reality helmet. With those machines at the ready, she trotted to the contraption. On the back of its neck, a single shiny red button stood proudly. With a hit of said button, the machine slowly came to life. The batteries holding a magical charge slowly began to drain, sending energy through the cables and metal of the machine. Visible sparks began to arc through its yellow frame. Its vibrant green-blue eyes slowly blinked to life. With a sudden twitch from the machine, its butter-yellow limbs rose and began to support the weight of their owner. At full power, the creature was an exact replica of the Pegasus called Fluttershy. That is, if you ignore the occasional puff of steam and the soft rumbling of machinery emanating from its frame, and the vibrant glowing eyes. Don't forget the fact that the machine's entire framework slowly shook, and the occasional arc of electricity that appeared, and that it was made from relatively shiny metal. Other than that, it was a perfect replica of our favorite butter-yellow Pegasus. With the replica powered, it awaited its owners to begin controlling it. Not wanting to keep the object waiting, Fluttershy quickly trotted up to its control center. It had very basic controls. Just equip the stylish robot helmet and one could easily control the machine with a mere thought. With the helmet hoof, she slowly placed the object on top of her head. The helmet took up quite a considerable amount of space, blocking her field of view and encasing her vision in darkness. With a soft and short frizzle of energy, a voluminous amount of lights exploded in her vision. A barrage of colors danced across her view, giving a series of diagnostic and vision for the robot. In the midst of it all sat a few words, stating the name of the robot. A simple and effective name that would ensure absolutely no confusion whatsoever. The contraption that was created by the Yellow Pegasus was simply called Fluttershy's Lawful Ultra Tactical Technological Extremity Replica, or the Flutterbot for short. It was the result of months of preparation, the fruits of her labor. With a smile on the Pegasus's face, she quickly experimented by simply trotting to another corner of the room, eager to see if it would be able to obey simple commands like walking and running. The machine responded the way it was intended, slowly but efficiently. It managed to canter to the other side of the room. With the simple test complete, she moved on to something more complex. The notion of flying came to the aid of the Pegasus by instinct, so she was worried about her contraption's ability to complete the task. With the thought of flight bouncing around the Yellow Pegasus's brain, she hoped the machine would respond to the command. To her relief, it did. The makeshift metal wings slowly expanded, and before a harsh gust of wind overtook the lab, Fluttershy stared through the visor and saw the robot had managed to achieve flight. With her basic test complete, she quickly landed the machine. With a glee hidden behind the helmet, she made the machine trot to the entrance of her lab. With a flick of a metallic hoof, the door swung open and revealed the peaceful expanse of the area near her college. With one goal set on her mind, she quickly headed out with an explosion of speed. She would find her friends and help them win. Rarity's Boutique, 1:14 p.m. Rarity rummaged about the boutique, busy gathering gems for the weapons she would use. Even though they would be used for violence, she thought they could still be stylish. Why bludgeon a pony with a foam sword if you can't set trends in the process? Suddenly, the marshmallow unicorn shouted out, "Idea!" with a singing voice. She quickly gathered any available gems, multiple foamy weapons, and quite a bit of needles and string. With the materials at the ready, Rarity quickly enveloped them into her magical field. Precise movements of needles, string, and gems swarmed the foamy weapons. The hilts of said weapons meshed into one, their points still standing proudly. With more precise movements, gems and an army of needles swarmed the points, intent on covering everything called foam with solid and hard gems. Gems flew through the air, landing on the intended positions and sticking to it. A few more chaotic minutes passed before the monstrosity called a weapon was finally finished. It was a six-pointed weapon wrapped in a hard casing of gems. If one held it up to the sunlight, a barrage of light would flood their eyes. It was a pony's bane, and the marshmallow-colored mare decided if they would continue to exist or be crushed by the gargantuan weapon. With a satisfied sigh, she picked up the gem-encrusted weapon. Not knowing its true weight, it quickly escaped from its owner's grasp and embedded itself in the floor below with a sickening slash. Rarity just stared at the monstrosity she had just created and effortlessly embedded into the floor. Without a second thought, she slowly grabbed a single foam weapon and set about to work once again, deciding to leave the embedded weapon alone for the moment. It was at that moment that a hurried knock appeared at the door to the boutique, followed by screams from outside. Having piqued Rarity's interest, she stared at the door for a moment. A single moment is all it took for all hell to break loose, as the poor door was smashed into smithereens. In the midst of it all stood a shining lump of metal, which was oddly colored yellow. Upon closer inspection, the shiny metal bore resemblance to a pony. Just behind the shiny pony thing was a rather angry-looking mob loomed just behind it. With no time to spare, the machine said, "Rarity, no time to explain. Get on the robot." "Fluttershy?" was all the marshmallow-colored pony could blurt out before the robot forcefully grabbed her and the gargantuan weapon with one fell swoop. With another great leap, the machine made its way through the roof of the boutique, much to Rarity's distress, and flew off to the location called Ponyville Park.